Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So today we are gonna film a little like what we would have if we weren't YouTubers, or if we weren't like really absorbed in the makeup community, like what kind of items we would have for that.
Jamie Page did a video.
Yeah, that's where we saw it. I'm sure it's been floating around other places, so if I find anybody else I'll link them down below. But yeah, this was inspired by Jamie Page, so yeah, if you're interested to see what we would choose, just keep watching. So just kind of our thought process during this, we were kind of trying to go based off of our preferences when we first started doing makeup. I also want to mention that when I first started getting into makeup, well, maybe a little bit after, but the Jergens Self-Tanner was like my self-tanner. So like if you guys want like an affordable self-tanner, the Jergens one was pretty dang good. My shit. It's a little more red than golden in undertone.
Yeah,
really it can get a little bit patchier than more expensive self-tanners, but it is really good if you want one. The foam self-tanner too, not the lotion, the actual foam. The foam. So I added a primer. I don't know if we would actually prime. When we first started getting into makeup, we did prime.
With like Benefit Professional.
Yeah, and I would never recommend that. So I figured Essence Fresh Fit Awake, super cheap, really affordable, glowy, won't probably work very well for deep skin tones. I think it would make it kind of ashy looking, like it would pull to silver maybe, but for light to medium skin tones this is beautiful, and gives you a nice glowy juicy finish.
It's a similar vibe to Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless,
but the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion is a good alternative that has shades.
Yeah, I probably would just prime with moisturizer. As far as foundations go, when I was first getting into makeup, I loved the L'Oreal Lumi foundation. I haven't tried that in years, but I really want to try it again eventually. Probably once I work through some others, I'll probably pick it up just to see what it's about. But I'd probably choose my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer in a different shade because this one's far too light for me. But this has become one of my favorite products, and I know that if I wasn't like immersed in the YouTube community, I'd probably go for drugstore items, or at least more affordable items, and you can pick that one up at Ulta. So yeah, that's what I would choose.
So I decided on NYX Born to Glow. I did love that Lumi whatever, but like Maybelline Fit Me was also like the OG.
The matte and poreless, yeah.
There was also a No. 7 foundation. It was a whipped foundation. I would apply it with my hands without any concealer.
I don't think they have it anymore. It was like a cream to powder.
Yeah, they didn't.
I used the Mary Kay cream to powder foundation in high school.
Forever. But yeah, NYX Born to Glow. It's affordable. You see it when you walk into Target. You know, it's easy
medium
access,
coverage,
decent shade range, all that.
As like concealer goes, even though I would still be using my Becca under eye corrector, okay, I can't go back in time and undiscover it, so I don't know what you want me to say. I will be using this till the day I die, so this would automatically be included in whatever the heck is going on. But we've settled on Glossier Stretch because this is hands down the best concealer I've ever tried in my life. Also, Glossier is doing good things. Is doing really good things. I would urge you to check out their Instagram. They donated like $1 million to like different organizations regarding like George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement.
Oh, I also want to mention, since I probably won't be able to edit the other videos and put like a new chunk in here, we'll have links to sign the petition and donate down below. We asked on Twitter and we're like, hey, is it like tone deaf to keep posting right now, or do you guys want like an escape? And everybody's like, yeah, please keep posting videos, but just, you know, mention it and leave a link in the description so we are aware of what's happening. If you see,
just so you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Glossier is great, and they have a decent shade range, like a pretty good one for like deeper skin tones, especially for a line that's known for their like no makeup. I would say, people say that this concealer has like virtually no coverage. I disagree. I think it's a solid medium coverage, and it's very similar in texture to the Becca under eye corrector. It's a little thicker. I don't know how to explain it.
Best applied with fingers.
Best applied with
fingers. Can apply with
sponge. Works really well.
Yeah. But yeah, really good. I would say like light to medium coverage, but if you can build it. You can build it for sure. So I would think that I would normally, like when we first started using bronzer, we went with the e.l.f. bronzer palette because obviously that one's not as warm as I would prefer nowadays. So I just chose my MAC Give Me Sun bronzer because this has been my holy grail bronzer for years. This was my first MAC product ever. I went to Mall of America and bought it, so it has a special place in my heart. I will I don't know if I'll repurchase this after because the bronzer Vic's gonna mention I've fallen deeply in love with after
so
one
good.
use. But yeah, the BH Cosmetics contour palette or bronzer palette as well was like our OG. It's just super pigmented. So those are two things that we started with, but Give Me Sun is gonna be the one that I'm gonna recommend. So I was initially gonna choose my Ticket to Brazil bronzer from Wet n Wild because I've gone through two of them now. More than that, you had some when we were younger too. So you've probably been through like 3 or 4 at this point. No, I've only been through 2.
Really?
Yeah, I got one in high school for show choir. And then I got one. And then I finished that. And then I got that one. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I feel like I've been through a million. But they go through really quickly. But I know I would probably go with a more affordable option is my guess anyway. So I chose this one, which is new. I got it in our Ulta Points haul. This is the Makeup Revolution Bronzer Reloaded in Long Weekend. This bronzer only has 1 shade apparently. I thought there were 2, but I only see one on Ulta now. They do have other options. They do have other options for other the bronzer, deep dark range. Other bronzer ranges, the Revolution like XX or whatever it is. All of the bronzers in that range are suited for deep skin tones. Like even the light one is like light deep. Like I don't know how to explain it. Yeah. But yeah, this is gorgeous. It is like the most. It's not orange like Mac Give Me Sun, and it's not red like Laura Geller. It's goldeny yellow. It's stunning. It has like this marbled golden highlight throughout it as well. It's a beautiful sheen, great pigmentation, like not too much, not too little. It's so stunning, so stunning. Milani Baked Bronzer in Dolce, who? Runner up though. Runner up to that though. Milani Baked Bronzer in Dolce. Don't hear me slander it. So I put my blush and highlight into one palette. When I had first started getting into makeup, I loved the like Benefit Cheekathon kind of palette. They have a couple that like I really want, but like since they don't have any versatility, I don't think I'll buy it. But this is the Smashbox Cali Kissed blush and highlight palette. These are some of the best powder highlights I've ever tried, next to the Pixie X Rach Loves powder highlights. These are incredible. The blushes are cute. They've got a peachy and then a more like deep berry pink kind of tone. Not quite deep, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, this is like a really good all-in-one palette. I love the formula. They've got 2 like these mid-tone highlighters that are a little bit deeper, and this pink one is almost like a topper shade. Like it's got like dark pink glitters running through it. So I just think this is really fun. You could use it on the eyes as well. I think this is something I would have gotten a ton of use out of. But when I first started, my favorite blush palette was the e.l.f. blush palette. The $6 one. That thing I still stand by is stunning, phenomenal. Amazing is the fact that even with e.l.f., how cheap and affordable they are, they have 2 shades in every blush and bronzer palette they have. Yeah. You know, they've got a deeper shade as well. So that way it at least works for at least some skin tones, not just one. So I forgot to mention, I would probably, even though this is not an affordable item, I would probably have a contour kit because I used to contour like crazy. Now I do, but it's not to that extent. But this is my Natasha Denona Sculpt and Glow. Surprise, surprise. I have beat her to absolute hell. I love this thing so incredibly much. So right now I'm working on it for a project pan, but I would probably have this sort of progress anyway, to be honest. And I can use this shade. I've been using it as like a brow powder and it works just fine for me. It's a little red, but like whatever. Yeah, I love it. I love that there's a cream option for everything and a powder option for everything. And I probably would utilize this powder that I did finish up, but I probably would utilize that to set my face, I'd assume. I just used it to blend out my eyeshadow because I don't use powder anymore, but I used to. Anyway, as far as blush goes, this is the Catrice X Iman blush palette. It reminds me a bit of the e.l.f. one. The shades are not the same, but it's similar vibe, quad. But it's got 3 matte blushes and then 1 with some shimmer, and these pack a freaking punch. I have this on today, but I mixed it with my bronzer. I just mixed the orange and the peach, and it makes this gorgeous like neutral blush, but it really, it juices up your cheeks somehow. Like the orange really brings so much life. I don't know why, because I had an orange, or we have an orange blush, the ColourPop and Kathleen Lights one in So Retrograde, and that one is really beautiful, but it's metallic almost, and it's very pigmented as well. So it's like, you have to be careful. It can be a little hard to work with. I normally use it for blush draping, but yeah, this is a really good one, especially if you're if you're looking for a blush option, you might really like this. I think this too could work on a pretty decent variety of skin tones. Because of how pigmented they are. If you're fair, I would go in with a light hand or mix that with your pressed powder or something, like dip back and forth. For sure. But if you've got like medium to deep, I still think up to deep could use it. Deep dark might struggle, but up to deep I think really could use that palette. And I guess there are highlights in the Natasha Denona palette, but as far as like a highlighter palette goes, because I'm pretty sure I was wearing crazy amounts of highlight back in the day, I'd probably go with my Makeup Revolution Incandescent Highlighting Quad. This is one of my favorites. I love this thing to pieces. I normally use the white as like an inner corner highlight because it's just too much for me now. It's really icy, but these are so freaking beautiful. Rachel doesn't like how they look on her skin, but on me, I feel like they give the most like wet, gorgeous glow. They're so freaking stunning. I can't even believe it. I love the deep shade as like a blush topper. I love to mix these two shades together. It's everything for me. I love it. I might have to try it again, but it's too, because I'm so picky on powder highlights now, it's too thick. That's what it is. It's too thick on the skin. I don't know. It's funny though, every time I wear it, she's like, oh, what are you wearing? And she's like, god damn it. It looks so good on her. Figured we'd throw in brows. We would probably just use like a L'Oreal brow pencil or a NYX or a whatever. But if you are a true supporter of us, if you have been here back since day one, in the day, the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer in soft brown was our holy grail. Still is. However, they discontinued it. And so we changed it. We have this. We have this, which is like 2 years old. We have not opened it. And it's gonna be here until we find it worth it to open it again. Maybelline, you bring it back. Bring it freaking back. Bring it back. They changed the brush and it's got this big freaking ball at the end of it. It makes no sense. It doesn't work the same. And the brush from this one doesn't fit into the new tube. Doesn't fit. Otherwise we would have just kept this brush. It's so stressful. This was literally like, we went through like 10 of these. This is so our favorite brow gel and ever. Okay, Samantha Ravindell did a drugstore video at some point and Rachel freaked out on Twitter. She was like, get the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer. She was being really dramatic about it. And Sam in her video was like, I wasn't gonna get anything really. And then somebody on Twitter started freaking out telling me that I needed this brow product, and she tried it and she was like, yeah, it's okay. She was wrong, FYI. Fantastic. As far as like an eyeshadow palette kind of thing goes, I think I would choose something similar to this. This is the Profusion Chocolates palette. Profusion is super affordable with a pretty good eyeshadow quality. These look pretty washed out on camera. It's a really little, it has a little bit more depth in person. Yeah, I mean, it's not super dark. Like, I don't think anybody with really deep skin would probably love this, but most of these lighter tones are shimmers. There's like 4 mattes in here, I think. Oh, maybe there's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 mattes in here. And 2, 3, 4 of them are like a light cream shade, which whatever, but they have different undertones, and it actually works really well for like a matte cat eye to have those different undertones. But I think this palette is gorgeous. I don't use it a ton, but when I go for that matte kind of cat eye look, I generally pull for this palette. It's really beautiful. And a black. I chose another Profusion palette just to kind of spice it up. This is the Profusion Wanderlust palette. This is one of my favorite drugstore palettes ever. This was the limited edition one. The one they have now has square pans, just like the chocolates. But like the dark purples and like all of that, they work so well on the eyes. They actually have depth to them where a lot of drugstore shadows don't, and most purples are like really difficult. Bad. But I love this palette. We didn't wear too much color when we first started getting into makeup. However, I think that we were attempting pops of colors. I remember using like a lot of colorful glitter, like green and blue glitter. So yeah, and my 2nd grade lime green smoky eye, or my 8th grade, whatever it was, would love this. And then I also figured I'd mention the e.l.f. Bite Size palettes. This one is in Truffles and this one is in Cream and Sugar. They're both cute little neutral ones. This one's more neutral to cool. This one's more like warm toned. But yeah, I think these would be something I would have gravitated towards because they're affordable and they're neutral and they're cute and they're just adorable. They're like literally like a little candy bar, like they're the mini Kit Kat. If you want videos on these, let us know. We're we kind of want to do one, but we just don't know exactly how to film it because we have like all of them except for the jalapeno one. And I don't really know if we need to do looks with all of them or what, but just let us know how you're feeling. I got the Essence lash primer one time because I thought maybe it would be like a good alternative to this. It was bad. It was very bad. It was terrible. And I've been scared to try another lash primer ever since. I tried the Lancome one in a mini form. It's fine. It's the same thing as this. I swear to God it is. So yeah, this thing is freaking great. And this has been my OG for a long time, the Maybelline Lash Sensational. I love it. There is nothing wrong with this. Not a single thing is wrong with this mascara. It's perfection. For lips, I'm sure we would have like a red in there or something too, but generally I went for foundation on the lips, if I'm being honest. So I figured I'd choose a concealer nude. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea lipstick in Skinny Dip. It is iconic. Need I say more? You see that color? Incredible. It's got a little bit of pink, more like peach in there. I don't even know if you can tell with my self-tanner. That little swatch there. It's more brown than pink, but against my self-tanner it looks kind of pink. But it's got peachy undertones. It's warm. It's beautiful. It's creamy. It's not matte. It's not dewy. It's just that perfect in-between lipstick that works with a multitude of lip liners. And it smells like normal lipstick, which is a tragedy. But the rest of it, incredible. I love the packaging. I don't care if it was $1 million, I'd love it. Another thing I think we might have is Marc Jacobs Sugar, which I will be picking up for summer, FYI. In high school, I used the Maybelline like dry ass color sensational lipsticks. I don't know, they were ones. They were matte. I remember really liking them. Rachel did not. I really liked them. But I think I would either go for like a gloss. I was never a fan of the NYX butter glosses, really. They always did weird things on my lips. You're telling me NYX liquid lipstick in Sandstorm was not? Oh shoot. The list? No, it wasn't Sandstorm. It was the other one. Sandstorm was cool toned. Soft Spoken. The NYX liquid suede cream lipstick in Soft Spoken. I went through like 3 of those. Yeah. I used the crap out of those. Sandstorm was more my color. Sandstorm was more of like a lighter cool tone color. It was really beautiful, but I also wore those Maybelline lipsticks. Now I'd probably choose something more along the lines of either the Maybelline Shine lipstick in Baddest Beige or the L'Oreal Coloris Shines. This one's in Glossy Fawn. Shining Peach is my favorite by far. I will be picking that up again at some point. Don't you test me, but yeah. I like a glossier kind of vibe. I don't really know if I'd be using lip liner. I don't recall using lip liner, even though like I couldn't live without it now. Don't know what to say. But yeah, that's kind of our little idea. We kind of went based off of things we've tried now and the way we were thinking back in the day. I would say concealer, we probably would still be using Maybelline Fit Me or like Age Rewind. But yeah, I think most of the things we would want was at the drugstore with like a sprinkle of high-end in there. Yeah. But anything you can buy when you walk into Target, you can normally get some good stuff. I guess that's all for the video today. Again, we have the links to donate to George Floyd and, you know, Black Lives Matter, all that in the petition down below if you do want to sign that or, you know, do what you want to do with that. But you can find that all over Twitter as well. There's lots of information, but also do your own research on top of that because a lot of misinformation gets spread on Twitter. I don't want any of you getting hurt at the protests and riots because you saw Twitter say something and you thought it was a good idea, okay? Please be careful. Please don't listen. Do not listen to Twitter without doing a little Google search as well, okay? Like, do your research, stay safe, don't go shooting people or something for no reason. That's not a good idea. You're just gonna get yourself killed and arrested, and that's just not going to make matters any better, okay? So just be safe out there. We love you all, and we hope to see you in the next video.